Hello guys and welcome to today's video. So today we're carrying on the trend. These videos in order are obviously we've already done Dormammu, we've done Bishop, and now we're on Crossbones. So Crossbones is one that you're going to need a strict counter to, in my opinion. I would say it's probably maybe not necessarily the hardest of the three, but is definitely the one that, as I said, it's a necessity to have somebody who can counter him. This is because he's got Biohazard on him. So say you want to take in Quicksilver, Kitty Pryde, and Hercules. Obviously, none of those are strict Biohazards, so it will make it more tricky to fight against this one, because you will be taking quite a lot of damage. Although with Hercules you are obviously go immortal, you sort of are going to have to sort of just use a lot of revives for him. So what you really want to do here is bring in champs that is a Biohazard. So this really helps for, as I said in the last video, Ultron was quite a good counter for that Bishop because of the Incinerates, or one of the Nimrods or Warlocks. I think probably the same applies for this fight. A Nimrod would be quite a strong, good counter. He also fits into the robot part of this. He is quite effective because he can do a lot of damage quickly. So Nimrod is really good for this. Ultron's really good. Champs that are Biohazard also. So you want, if you don't hit into his block, then obviously you just bring in somebody who's bleed immune. Omega Red is really good for this. He's obviously he has dual immunity and he's a mutant, so he can work really effectively for this one. The problem with this Crossbones is not only is he Biohazard, he also has Bane on him. You should really be used to Bane by now. It was in a lot of the quests, so it does take a quick minute to get used to Bane again on a champ with sort of this much health. Once you get used to it, it does. It's not too bad to take. The problem with it, in my opinion, is that because if you look at Crossbones is health 800k. You know, if you're taking half a percent of his current health, you know, even if he's at 100% health, you're taking, you know, about 50k, or, you know, here or so. You know, maths is probably not great there, or it's not great at all. You're probably taking about 4k damage per second that it's on you. So this you want to try and keep off of your champ as long as possible. And then the other issue is that he doesn't take any damage unless he's got 3 buffs. So this is relatively easy to keep up. You can do this by stunning him. The problem with parry stun is that he regenerates 500% of the damage he deals into you. So obviously he hits quite hard and then he regenerates. So it is quite often that he goes from, say, 99% health back to 100, or 91% health back up to 98. So what you've really got to try and avoid here is him hitting into your block. Even if you get down to sort of 30-40% with him, it's probably better off to just take the hit rather than taking a hit into the block, because at least then you know he's not regenning any of that. And then finally, the good thing is that the buffs and debuffs on Crossbones are lasting 150% longer. So this really benefits you with Inflated Ego. So these 3 nodes here are the real issue: Biohazard, Vital Strikes, and Bane. You want to bring in somebody who's double immune. You want to bring in, you want to try and not get hit in the into your block, and a champion who you're used to playing, who you can intercept well with for the Bane and again for the Vital Strikes. So good counters for this, as I said, are Omega Red is a really, really handy counter. I'm pretty sure Red Mags could take this, as he has that 90% reduced bleed. So you've got to try and avoid hitting into his block. But obviously you want to try and avoid that anyway. Other good bleed immune champs that you guys will know: any Robot, Guillotine 2099 can be quite helpful. You've got any poison champ, but then obviously you it's necessary to hit into that block. So I would just try and recommend one of the robots, an Omega Red, a Red Mags, somebody who's that bleed immune. Even Wolverine 6-star, he obviously recently came out, could be quite helpful for this. So, but that is the main thing. It's the Biohazard and just not letting him hit into your attack. We're now going to move over to that spreadsheet that we showed the other day to see which ones which champs will be good to take on Crossbones in each Cringe challenge, and then we'll move on to the last little bit of gameplay. So I'll see you guys in that bit there. Hello guys, so we're now at the sheet for Overseer. In the greys, we've got Encroach and Stun. As I said, you want to really try and have somebody who's stun immune. I don't actually know what's happened there to the writing, which is actually really quite annoying. I believe I was just gonna have to mention that on the Encroach and Stun, try and bring somebody who's stun immune or somebody who has the sort of I can't think of the word, but yeah, try and bring somebody who can reduce his auto block chance or has the true sense basically. Then we've got the auto block counter, meaning you'll get stunned because of parry. And then you want to bring somebody who can't be stunned, or be really careful. Really careful of that auto block and that parry. I do have to apologize. I just keep losing my words. So yeah, you want somebody who has true sense, who can shrug off the stun like Kingpin or Crossbones, or somebody who won't be stunned at all like Hercules, obviously, or Shang-Chi, who can push through that auto block. As I've already mentioned, Power Alternator isn't too much to worry about, and Rich get richer. So let's go into the Cringe challenges. We've already gone through champs who will be quite useful. Just for completion, these are to meet the challenges. So on the left side, Miles or 2099 will work for the Overseer. 2099 because obviously he'll go invisible, and I don't think he could be stunned while invisible. And then, and if he can, there's that chance of missing. And then with Spidey 2099, you may be able to reduce that power with the Withers. But probably I would say Miles or Stealth Spidey will be really useful as this, because he might be able to reduce. I think he can reduce the ability accuracy to not be auto blocked. Which is really handy. Then in the robot side, I've put Nimrod down. I think Nimrod would be really useful for this one. You can do a lot of damage quickly. All of the robots will be stunned. None of them can stop being stunned, I don't think. So you're looking at either Ultron or Nimrod again for this one. As a dimensional being, CGR or Gallon work really well. Gallon because he can't be stunned when he is in Harvest, so you can sort of don't throw your SP1 or your SP2 while you've got Harvest on, and that will make you stun immune if he's awakened. And then CGR because he does a lot of damage really quickly. Then I've got Crossbones and Zemo. Crossbones because he can shrug off that. He's able to shrug off the stun, and Zemo because you can root them, and then if you're stunned, they obviously can't hit you if you stay far away. That's a more complex way of not being stunned, but it definitely works. And then I've gone for Jug for Brotherhood of Mutants, just because when he's unstoppable, I think it's a little bit harder to stun him, and he also sort of takes reduced damage while he is unstoppable from that Overseer, so that can be really handy there. She-Hulk was the one I used as an example for A-Force. Her or Scarlet Witch once again. But I would probably recommend She-Hulk a little bit more. She does a little bit more damage, can be really useful here, and you are just going to get stunned, unfortunately, and that seems to be the way it's going to go. Hopefully this little spreadsheet is helping you guys out. I'll see you guys in the gameplay where we can talk about and showcase a little bit more. Right guys, so we're at the Overseer gameplay here. So as I said, this one's going to be a little bit longer because there's a lot to explain here. I did miss out a good counter in my counter one, and that is both Quicksilver and Kitty Pryde. I took them both in. Quicksilver because when he is stunned, he is able to evade that in his stun. You'll see that in a moment. And then Kitty Pryde because she is stun immune while she is in she's in her phase. So that is a good way of sort of avoiding it. So here you'll see I'm about to get stunned, but if you can time it really well with his SP2, then it lasts at the same point apparently. But you see there I die with Quicksilver. That's not a very good showcase of what he can do, but I thought I'd show you sort of all of the fight that I've got recorded here. So you'll see Ultron comes in now. Again, Ultron's quite useful with this fight, as is Nimrod. Hard damage as quick as possible, basically, before you get that either Encroach and Stun or before he uses his special attacks. Somebody like Warlock could also be useful here because he obviously stops... he can, drain some power, but you can see there I get parried straight away. The parry shouldn't last too long if you've got... I can't remember the what's the mastery where you reduce the name? Maybe it's Limber. reduce the stun on you, so you are able to sort of adjust there. But you see, now we're in the Kitty Pryde fight. I wanted to show you guys this. So obviously when she's in her phase, you want to get up to 3, and then basically I would probably recommend try not to throw any special attacks and just do all basics. But you can see here, I want to get away from her. Obviously I take the stun there, that's not ideal, but I'm able to basically recover from that very, very quickly, which is very helpful. But I start to think, oh, maybe the phase I'm able to stop the stun, and I can. So that's really helpful. She really works in getting rid of his auto block. It won't stun you, and then also the encroaching stun will also not stun you. So she's a very good counter, as she is with a lot of these fights. I got very lucky there as the phase is still on when he throws his special attack, so that works really, really nicely for me. But as I said, you really want to try and basically just try and avoid the stun, because apart from the stun, this fight isn't necessarily super tricky. But that, with counters like Shang-Chi, could be really good. Obviously, Herc is a really good counter for this, but he doesn't necessarily have to be awakened. I would say he's just a good champ for this in general, because he can still do quite hard damage. But that's basically it for the Overseer one. They're the good counters. They're the things you need to be worrying about. Hopefully this helps you in your fight against EOP. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please leave a comment down below and leave it a like. I'd very much appreciate it, and it massively helps the channel. If you're new, please do subscribe and join the Discord. And I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.